Alright, so Samsung might be pulling a bit of a surprise move with the Galaxy S26 Ultra. At first glance, you'd probably think, okay, it's just another yearly refresh, same boxy design, same cameras, slightly faster chip. But the more you dig into the leaks, the more it starts to feel like Samsung's quietly cooking up something different here. Not a total redesign, but a subtle shift that could actually change how the phone feels in your hand and even how you see it every day. Let's start with the most interesting detail, that front camera. According to some pretty confident leaks on X, the Galaxy S26 Ultra's front camera cutout, the little hole you see in the display, is about to get bigger. Around 4 millimeters in diameter, which might not sound like much, but it's actually the largest punch hole Samsung's ever used on an Ultra model. Now here's the weird part, and it's supposedly the same 12-megapixel sensor as the S25 Ultra. So why make the cutout larger? One theory is that Samsung's tweaking the optics, maybe widening the field of view so it can capture more in every frame. The leaker Ice Universe mentioned that the new selfie camera might go from 80 degrees to 85 degrees, meaning you'll be able to fit more people, more background, or just get that less cropped look without stretching your arm halfway across the room. But still, it's strange. Most brands are trying to make their camera cutouts smaller or hide them under the display. Meanwhile, Samsung's making theirs bigger. And this change might actually tie into another rumor, that the Galaxy S26 Ultra's overall design will be rounder this time. The corners are said to be softer, less sharp, compared to the S25 Ultra's boxy look. If that's true, then yeah, maybe the bigger camera cutout does visually balance the front design better. It sounds minor, but it's exactly the kind of small, visual tweak Samsung likes to make when it's subtly evolving a design language instead of reinventing it. Speaking of design, there's talk of a new camera housing at the back too, possibly bringing back a raised camera plateau, something we haven't really seen since the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra days. That could mean a more premium feel, and also a bit of nostalgia for longtime Samsung fans who remember that iconic camera island. Now, what's really interesting is how Samsung seems to be walking this fine line between refinement and reinvention. They're not throwing away what worked with the S25 Ultra, but they're tweaking small elements, the corners, the cameras, the overall footprint, to make the S26 feel fresh while still instantly recognizable. And that's not just on the outside. Leaks also suggest the new Ultra could be thinner, yet still keep the same massive battery, which, if true, means Samsung's been doing some clever engineering under the hood. Combine that with the expected jump to the next-gen Exynos or Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 processor, and we could be looking at a device that's more efficient, cooler, and faster all at once. We're also hearing whispers about new rear sensors, potentially with better light capture and improved AI-powered processing. Samsung's been putting a lot of focus on computational photography lately, and the S26 Ultra might finally bridge that gap where Samsung's detail and dynamic range meet Google's image processing style. Now, here's where things get even more exciting: launch timing. Early rumors hinted at delays, but those have now been dismissed. The S26 series is reportedly on track for its classic January 2026 launch window, which means if Samsung follows its usual pattern, leaks and teasers are going to ramp up hard in the next few weeks. And you can already feel it. The pace of leaks, the details coming out from case makers' screen protector listings, it's all starting to build momentum. That's usually the sign that Samsung's big announcement isn't too far away. Now sure, the phone might not look drastically different from the S25 Ultra. But the changes happening here are the kind that make you go, wait, this actually feels nicer. And that's exactly the kind of upgrade that tends to age well. The kind that looks subtle at launch, but 6 months later, you realize it's the smarter design, so maybe Samsung isn't trying to shock everyone with a radical redesign this year. Maybe they're just refining the Ultra into something that finally nails the balance between power, polish, and usability. Anyway, I want to know what you think. Does a bigger selfie cutout bother you? Or do you care more about the wider field of view and better usability? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I always love reading what you guys think.